Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced, double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Welcome to day one of the virtual EXPO Chattanooga. Here's how today is going to work. All day, we'll be broadcasting with interviews from key business leaders in our community, along with messages from our exhibitors right here in the auditorium. Meanwhile, over in the exhibitor hall, you can go visit the many virtual booths that our exhibitors have set up. Learn more about their companies and exchange information with them as well. Finally, if you want a little more face time to develop your network, you can go hang out in our networking lounge. This Zoom meeting is moderated by the chamber staff, and it will run all day. But right now, you've joined me in the auditorium, and we've got exciting programs for you. Today, we'll hear from exhibitors in the following business categories: business services, manufacturing, building and logistics, tourism, hospitality, food, products and retail, education, mentorship, and leadership programs. We're going to spend some time looking into our crystal ball today. We're likely going to be feeling the effects of COVID-19 crisis for years to come. And the economy of tomorrow is unlikely to look anything like the economy that we're used to. So today, we're going to be talking to some very intelligent people about that future and what our future can look like as we start to rebuild and get things back to our new normal. Starting with former U.S. Senator Bob Corker, who will be interviewed by Todd Womack, President and Chief Executive Officer of Bridge Public Affairs.
Hello, I'm Todd Womack, and I'm here with Senator Bob Corker. It's so great to be with you.
Great to be with you as always.
Well, thank you. Hey, before we get into the topic at hand, we want to talk Chattanooga, but I'd love to know, are you missing being in the Senate?
You know, it was the greatest privilege of my life to serve, and I gave it all I had for 12 years and left everything on the field, and I feel good about my service, but I do not miss it. You know, I thought I would miss being able to step out of the office, as certainly in the end we were able to do. And there was always a gaggle of reporters there, and I had the opportunity at any point in time to really speak to the American people or people all around the world, and I thought I would miss that. I certainly love so much working with young people like yourself, although you're no spring chicken anymore. We began working together 19 years ago, but you know, the outstanding young people that we were able to work with was just incredible, and I know that they're going to have impact on the country and the world in their own careers, but I really don't miss serving in the Senate. I am so glad to be home back here in Chattanooga and immersing myself here, but I'm thankful that this listening audience and people around the state and country allowed me to serve the way that I did.
So it's been a year and a half, a little more. What have you been up to? I think people would love to know.
So I really made it a point to immerse myself back here. I heeded the advice of so many people who had left, either former admirals or people at the Pentagon or former senators, and that was to not jump into anything too quickly. But I've invested in a number of companies, and I really have enjoyed helping them grow. There's something at my age, I'm 67 today, that'll change in a few days, but there's something about being the age I am where you really feel the need even more so to really help other people in what they're doing. So I have thoroughly enjoyed this year. I've not had to do as much traveling. I used to have to do death marches around the world and commute each week, and so I really relished that. Most of the things that I've done have been pretty close to Chattanooga, but that's what I've been doing, and I'm gradually getting more and more engaged in business. But it's been 100% focus on the community, business, and of course, so much time with my wonderful family.
You really have kind of immersed yourself back in the community, and one of the things we want to talk about today is Chattanooga. I think most people know, but you were mayor here from 2001 to 2005, and heard you say many times that it was the best job of your life.
Yeah.
What is it about being mayor of a community like Chattanooga that makes it the best job ever?
So it was the best public service job I've ever had. I did love starting a company at 25 and growing it to operate in 18 states. It was just nothing like the energy around that. And I was just with some of the folks that we worked with during that period of time. And I don't think there's anything that can replace your first effort in business and growing a company. And then I love the second iteration where acquisitions of companies were done back in the late 90s. But there's no question that from a public service standpoint, being mayor of the city was by far the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I love being commissioner of finance for our state, which I did in 1995 and 96. And, at that time I was the chief operating officer of the state, and I could, with the flick of a pen, make so many things happen. And I just loved that executive side. But becoming mayor here, which is something, by the way, I never ever thought about in my life until I actually did it, there's no question that it's the most rewarding public service ever. Like I said, the Senate was a privilege, but as mayor, you can create a vision for the city. You can make things happen. You see and touch people in such a real way. And the things that you're able to do as mayor of a city are things that change the city for generations and centuries, actually, in some cases. So what a rewarding job.
So Chattanooga, and you've really, thanks to you and really many others who built upon what others have built, has come to be known really as a premier mid-sized city in the world. People come here and try to emulate what's happened. So, but it's got its own challenges. Where do you see the city now? Where do you see it going in the future?
Well, because of so much that's happened, even what's happening right now currently with some of the issues that every city in the country is dealing with, and our country and the world actually is dealing with today. And because of the sort of the long run that we've had, I see us at an inflection point. But the fact is that today, in 2020, we still have all of those great attributes that have made our city so special. They all still exist. I mean, the great outdoors, which attracts so many people and allows Chattanoogans to experience life in a way that so many other people don't. The tremendous work ethic that we have here, the entrepreneurialism. I mean, just being in this facility, I don't even know the gentleman that owns this, but what a business he's created here. But the entrepreneurialism that it makes our city distinctive. The great electric power board that was encouraged and has created this gig city effort, and now is doing things. I continue to be able to talk with our great leader of the power board, and gosh, they're doing things that are so cutting edge. So
really
we have,
It's really visionary.
It's really just incredible. So the fact that our city is what we've done here, which has taken a lot of work, and we're the only city in our state that is this way, where the central city is the civic, business, and cultural center of our city. If you look at every other city in the state, that's just not the case. And it's taken a lot of effort from a lot of people to make that the case. And it benefits everybody in the region, not just in Hamilton County, but everybody in the region, that we still have such a vibrant and central core to our city. So look, the attributes that we've built off through the years are here. The Volkswagen investment that was made, Enterprise South that was created, we all worked so hard to make that happen, is still paying dividends. There's still companies. I know that you're involved with one right now. You were sharing with me just the other day that is building off some of the things that have happened. So the things that have made our city distinctive, our waterfront, the way we're, connected to the river. By the way, in ways that Memphis has got a great connection to the river there, but really there's no city in our state that is like ours is as it relates to the river.
True.
So we have so many attributes, and I know I'm wandering on here, but so many attributes that still make us distinctive. And so what we've got to do now is really, again, capitalize on that. And I know we've been doing that now for many, many years.
So how do you do that? How do you take all those pieces and really ensure that that you make the most out of them? I think Chattanooga is unique. People come here because there's commerce. They come here because there is that entrepreneurial spirit. They come here for the outdoors. How do you take all those pieces though and really create a vision around them?
So I've been meeting with people who've been talking about various aspects of our city, and I enjoy doing so. And they're the leaders. I'm not. I'm someone who is wanting to encourage others who are doing the same. And by the way, both our city mayor and our county mayor, when I see them do something that I think is good, I try to text them and cheer them on. And it's a mode that I really like to be in today. But with all of these people that are talking about our city and some of the things they'd like to see happen, the most important effort, everybody's focused right now on the national race, understandably, that's going to take place in November. But the most important thing to our city is really the next mayor's race.
That's right.
The mayor
It
really is the focus of our city. The mayor is the person that leads our city, in spite of the fact we have such a strong private sector here. And so I keep telling folks when they come in the office to talk about things that, look, that our focus should be ensuring that, we elect a mayor that is an outstanding leader that can create a vision for our community. And we'll build off those strengths in the private sector and the nonprofit sector and the foundation sector to really move our city ahead.
I've heard you talk about mayors, and the mayor's office is unique in that it's not a partisan place. As we move forward, how important is it that we maintain that, do you think?
Incredibly important. There's just absolutely nothing about being mayor that should be partisan. Nothing. To me, I think that the people that are most successful in that position look at being mayor as a civic endeavor, not a political job, as a civic endeavor. I know when thankfully people encourage me to run, and I still thank those people who made me think of something I otherwise never would have thought about the rest of my life. Never in my life. But I thank them for all that they did to encourage me to run, and it was strictly as a civic endeavor. And I think that running as a civic leader who's done something else and just wants to make our city better is what I hope is going to happen in this next race. And then I hope that person will view themselves as the conductor of a symphony. In other words, that person is leading, that person is using the various strengths and attributes of our city. I used to tell people that being the mayor of a city is not unlike a CEO coming in and taking over a company, right? Where you look at the various attributes that exist, and then there's some deficiencies that need to be overcome, and you create a vision and move ahead. And so I think, again, a mayor should try to build off the strengths of the Chamber of Commerce, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, of the various foundations and the nonprofits throughout our city, the Community Foundation, the Benwood Foundation, the Lyndhurst Foundation, the various groups that, the outdoors groups that do so much to bring people here in our city. I could go on and on and on, but we've got the Electric Power Board, as I've already mentioned, but we have such a plethora of talented people in our community that I think, if asked, will rise to the occasion and join in a vision to move our city to the next level.
So as we, you mentioned it a second ago, we've got a lot of challenges as a country, as a world right now. Chattanooga is not immune from those. You've got some social unrest. You've got a pandemic. You've got really probably an economic downturn to some degree. We'll see what that looks like. What are your concerns about the future, and how do you mitigate those?
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I think that, and I'm going to keep referring to the mayor's job because I think it's probably the most significant thing that's happening. I mean, again, there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things about being gone for 12 years, kind of. I mean, I came home most weekends that I wasn't in the Middle East or someplace, and but it's like I don't know. It's like all of a sudden I don't know anybody anymore. I see all these young, talented people, and I actually try to have lunch with them from time to time, or I've had some over to my house just to be around them because the energy is there. So I look at so much that's happening in our private sector that I'm impressed with. But you know, I do think that first of all, the mayor coming in, the next mayor coming in after what's occurred is that there's some basic blocking and tackling that's going to need to occur. I mean, you have to think that there might be some budget challenges with obviously some of the economic things that have occurred here in our city and other places. I think that so there's going to be some blocking and tackling and running of government. It seems to me that a mayor should every single day of the week be looking at the department heads and ensuring they're doing everything they can to make it easy for people to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish, whether that's building new buildings or new companies coming in. I mean, obviously we need to have guidelines, and we need to make sure that we adhere to the guidelines that make a city great. But every single day we should be trying to improve our ability to make this a welcoming place to do business, to accomplish other things. And then I think that we really need to double down on recruitment. I think we have such a tremendous opportunity in our community right now. Look, I don't know how long this occurs, but certainly most places that have a high quality of life like Chattanooga has are attracting people. I mean, I'm hearing stories of people coming in and buying homes, just walking in from other places in the Northeast or some places in the Midwest, coming down here, some people coming up from other places. I'm hearing of people even doing so online just because they know that in this new world that some people, not everybody, but some people are going to be able to work from afar. They're going to have to be able to work from their homes or offices and other places. And so I think that is a tremendous opportunity for us. But I think also the continued recruitment of companies here. And to me, the number one thing that, I've said this over and over and over when I was mayor, and I was able to have a little bit lesser effect on this as a senator. But I think the number one effort should be ensuring that heads of households have good paying jobs. In my first company, Bencor, I just saw the transformation of families as people came in working at a certain level, and the company grew for the first 9.5 years at 80% a year. And so you saw people migrate, grow. They moved higher and higher and higher in the company and had more and more responsibility. And with that came other, salary and bonuses and those kinds of things. And you just saw the way it affected their families and the way they looked at the world. And so, again, I think, and when companies come here, by the way, or when companies come here, number one, it kind of it raises all boats. It really does, because other companies benefit from that, but also employees benefit from other opportunities. When talent comes here, I mean, I can think of a few. I just got a text yesterday from a young man who moved here from Alabama. He came up to Chattanooga to start a company. He did so incredibly successfully, but by virtue of him coming here, a lot of Chattanoogans are employed. So again, I think both reaching out to talent, and I've been in some meetings with folks who are attempting to do that, but also recruitment. And I would say, and I know this is a chamber-sponsored event, but this is the way I felt when I was mayor. This is the way I felt all along. The entity that needs to be charged with recruitment and fully supported is the Chamber of Commerce. If it can't carry out that effort, then maybe folks should look elsewhere. But to me, that is the entity. Again, building the strength outside. The two mayors, in my opinion, should meet with the chamber every single month and go over every single possibility of who might recruit. Hold the chamber accountable. Hold them accountable. Make sure there's strength there. But at the same time, should be available to do whatever they need to do. I remember Claude Ramsey and I going to a lot of places we didn't really want to go to, both in our country and outside of our country, but it paid dividends, no doubt. And when those things happen, I think I've shared this before. I know you know it, but I remember getting the call from Volkswagen. I was sitting in an energy hearing. By this time, I was a senator, but we had begun the process of we completed Enterprise South with Claude and had the interchange put in, and we thought Toyota was going to come here. They went to Mississippi. You and I made the first call, I know, to Volkswagen, and they came over to our humble offices at that time.
They were pretty humble.
And, I remember when they announced that they were coming, or when they, not announced, but when they called me from the boardroom in Germany. I was in a committee hearing in Washington, and I was so, I still get overwhelmed. So overwhelmed. I had to, so embarrassed. A bunch of stoic Germans on the other end of the phone, and I told them I had to call them right back and gain my composure. But you knew the effect that was going to have on thousands of people in Chattanooga and their families, their children. Everything about the way they live their daily lives. So those kind of things matter in a community. They matter to everyone in the community, and I hope it's something that we'll double down on as we move ahead.
So as we wrap up, you're a vision guy. It's just natural for you, but maybe even more than that, you're a cheerleader, I feel like. So what are you most excited about as we look into the future for this community? What excites you most?
Well, I'm excited about I'm excited about watching what's going to happen unfold over the next period of time until the election in March, and how various candidates are going to, as they run. I mean, a big part of running is laying out what you're going to do. As you remember, it's important when you come into the mayor's job that you, in my opinion anyway, you get every single thing that you said you were going to do underway within the first 6 months. You have to, and then reload again. Let's reload and go again.
Period.
And because it's not a political job, it's a job that you can throw deep on every play. I mean, it's not to me, it's not a blocking and tackling kind of job. It's a job where you need to do the blocking and tackling to be able to be successful. But look, I'm excited about seeing what's going to unfold here in our community and what type of leadership they're going to embrace. I appreciate the fact that from time to time, people like you and me and others are called upon to help, and I'm excited about that. I'm just excited about living here and being a part of our community. At the same time, I do want to say one other thing. I've lived by this thing that affected me at a young age, and I think we are blessed to be a blessing, and I know that you are, and I know I feel that way very deeply. And it's really that thing, that sense of feeling that got me involved in the community in the first place. I'd had an experience on a mission trip to Haiti. I knew that I couldn't be doing those kind of things with a company growing at 80%. I began to work on Reed and Mitchell streets in my late 20s and early 30s, where I saw at that time, those, of course, that part of town is totally different now. But I began to see the plight that so many Chattanoogans were living in. And it was just hard for me to believe that we had people that didn't have adequate housing. And myself and others led the creation of Chattanooga Neighborhood Enterprise that helped over 10,000 people with affordable housing. But I do think that there's so many people in our community today that in socioeconomically challenged areas that are living a totally different life than so many of us who have been so blessed and have been born with the drive and just the ability and wherewithal to create companies, a lot doing because of other people. And I've told you the story, I know, but I was invited to go to a chapel talk at one of the private schools here in town, and it had to do with modern slavery, and I'd been involved in an international effort around that when I was in the Senate, and so thrilled to be invited. And I went, and it was one of the most moving presentations. It really was. And I looked around the auditorium, and these young people were just, full of vim and vigor and had all the support in the world that they need. And I know that everybody has issues. I mean, I know that everybody deals with imperfections and issues. But we walked out of that chapel and were standing there in the parking lot, and you could look out over the city from where we were. And I spoke to the person who had invited me and said, look, I wish every child in our community could have that kind of experience. It was just unbelievable. But we looked out over our city, and I said, but while we're here, I think we need to recognize that there are students today coming to school that the only place they get an adequate meal is at school. Some of them are living in homes with no power. Some of the parental situations are certainly less than perfect. Potential prostitution. Sometimes parents are in prison. They're living in neighborhoods that are unsafe, very contrary to you and me. And they're just incredible stress monetarily and in so many other ways. Family structures breaking down. And I think that as a community, for us to be whole, it's not unlike our bodies. When there's a part of our body that is not functioning properly, or we're not whole ourselves. But I think our community, in order to be whole, has really got to also double down on an effort and on efforts, because it's certainly not something that happens quickly, but to ensure that we do everything we can to focus on the socioeconomically disadvantaged areas of our community, and do everything we can to ensure that all of our young people in our community, all 40,000 that go to the public schools and others, have an opportunity through education to dream just like you and I and so many people in this listening audience, and to fulfill those dreams. And if we don't do that, eventually it will be our community's undoing.
I think that's a really poignant challenge for all of us, and really appreciate that perspective very much. As we end, is there anything else you'd like to add or say?
I think the only thing that I'd like to add is that I am confident that with our community coming together, we can not only build on the outstanding strengths that we have here in our community, but that we can also deal with those challenges that matter so much to so many people, and will affect their lives in such a positive way. So I think that we have the makeup of a community. And I used to tell people when I was working in Nashville as Commissioner of Finance, and then traveling the state, running for the Senate, but then actually serving as a senator, I had to be a little bit more careful when I was serving. But I used to tell people that I don't think there's a community in America that has citizens with the heart and soul that we have in our community. I don't. And so I think we've got the ability, in spite of the challenges that we're dealing with, and I know other communities are dealing with the same, but I think we have the abilities with vision, with people coming together and using their particular abilities and strengths. I think we have the ability to cause this city to go to places that we haven't even seen, and I'm excited about that.
Senator Bob Corker, thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you today.
Well, thank you for your outstanding public service. I know people already know this, but you and your new company, I know, are having an impact on so many people, and you're actually, in a way, able to continue your public service doing what you're doing. But Todd was probably the most acclaimed chief of staff in Washington when he was there, and led the bipartisan groups that came together to try to solve problems. And I thank you for your public service.
Well, thank you for your friendship and the impact you've had on my life. It's so appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Todd, thank you so much for that awesome interview, and thank you so much, Senator Bob Corker. Coming up next, we're going to have a great conversation with U.S. Express President Eric Fuller.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
For nearly 30 years, Barcom's been a technology provider to businesses all across North America. Since we're headquartered in Chattanooga, many of those are right here in Tennessee. Our solutions automate manual processes and add flexibility to existing systems to create greater operating efficiencies. Whether it's using barcodes, RFID, or vision to improve inventory tracking and management, or designing a solution to increase worker productivity while keeping them safe, Barcom can make it work.
It's critical for us to have a provider that's reliable and that we believe in.
We don't have to host equipment in our office. We can literally take advantage of cloud services in the way that they should be taken advantage of.
40 clients that we work with every day are outside of the state of Tennessee. And so every time we tell them about EPB's internet, they instantly are jealous, and we're happy about that.
At HHM Certified Public Accountants, every professional we hire is given the opportunity and support to accomplish their personal goals. 10 years ago, 4 of our staff accountants set their sights on becoming partner. They worked hard, honed their accounting skills, asked tough questions, became involved in the community, and cultivated strong relationships with clients who rely on them for proactive guidance. Recently, all 4 were named partner. 10 years from now, where will your business be? Choose a team that is equipped to support your business and personal endeavors. We have consistently invested time and resources in our staff so that as our firm continues to grow, our service and commitment to each and every client remains our highest priority. Our newest generation of HHM partners are dedicated to continuing our legacy of commitment to every member of our staff, our clients, and our community.
Novatech Managed IT.
Our server! We're under attack! We need you like yesterday!
It's really bad.
Don't worry.
We'll design a new network and migrate you to the cloud. We'll be there right away.
Ooh, we can use the time machine.
Wait! Scott.
A new life awaits you in the off-world colonies.
We have to go back.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Novatech, IT Management Services.
Rockridge Venture Law, we know the prize you're after and what it takes to get it. We know what it's like to work, to sweat, to bleed to fruition a vision. We know because we're setting the bar, just like you. Come scale your swagger with Rockridge, a B Corp intellectual property and technology firm at rockridgelaw.com. Offices in Durham, Chattanooga, and Nashville, serving badasses everywhere.
Hi, I'm George Wilson with Southern Payroll and Benefits. Our team is headquartered right here in Chattanooga, and we assist local small and mid-sized businesses with their payroll, human resource, accounting, benefit, and insurance needs. Recently, we've been assisting clients with the various SBA loan programs, whether it's the PPP, EIDL, or even the upcoming payroll tax cut holiday. Not only that, we pledge to give back 2% of all payroll proceeds to the charity of each client's choosing. Thanks, and I look forward to working with you.
At the Small Business Development Center, our mission is simple: to help your business grow and succeed. We provide no-cost counseling, seminars, and other resources that make it easier for your business to reach its potential.
We are part of a network of 1,000 centers around the country. Our Chattanooga office is conveniently located inside the Hamilton County Business Development Center and serves 9 counties in southeast Tennessee.
Learn more at tsbdc.org/chscc and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at TSBDC Chat.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Welcome back. I am Donna L, and I am hanging out with you all day, actually the next 2 days, with EXPO Chattanooga. And of course, we are virtual. And I'm so excited about this interview. President and CEO of US Express, we have Eric Fuller. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. I'm really excited to talk to you because there has been a lot of changes over the past few months. And what I know about Chattanooga's home base, we're really resilient, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what US Express is, because we make an assumption about what you guys do in our area or and outside.
Yeah, so US Express was founded in 1986 and based here in Chattanooga. Today, we have nearly 10,000 employees. We're located nationwide, also operate in Canada and Mexico. And we have about 1,400 local employees here in Chattanooga.
1,400 local, and how many national or international total?
Just a hair under 10,000 when we count all of our drivers.
Oh wow, that is absolutely amazing. So COVID hit around March. Our city was aware of it. Our country was aware of it. Our world has been affected by it. You went from everybody pretty much working in the office.
Sure.
And that changed. What are you guys doing right now?
So February 28th, I remember the date. We were talking about what we were seeing in the news in relation to the pandemic. And at that point, it was pretty early on. There were a few states that maybe had a couple cases, but it wasn't really widespread. But we put together on that day a task force to start exploring what we needed to do in response. And originally, it was more of a let's keep the lights on strategy. Let's focus on the people that we would need to just keep the business moving. And the thought process is there's no way this would last more than a week, right? So let's put something together that we can get people operating maybe from home or virtually in some form or fashion. But we're only going to need a skeleton crew just to kind of keep the lights on for a period of time while we get kind of through the backside of this. So that was what the task force was put together to do. They started putting that strategy together, and after about a week, we went back to them. They at that point had pretty much most of the strategy around that first core group, which is our operations people that interact with our drivers, trying to keep them out on the road. We went back to them and said, hey, let's take this globally and let's think about the whole company. Let's put together a plan. And we did. And by March 15th, we decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and let's go ahead and put everybody back at the house or at the house.
Can I ask you, can I stop there for a second? So you said you put together this task force. So somebody is watching now and said, okay, task force. Okay, I know we have to bring, maybe senior leaders together. I know we got to bring a few people from the team. Who did you have, meaning as far as their, I don't want to say job description, but who did you have on the team when it came to the task force?
Sure. We had our chief legal officer and we had our head of audit. They were the ones that kind of put the team together, and I think there were probably 6 or 8 people on the team, and there's facilities people, it's kind of the broad spectrum.
Right.
But we were able to, like I said prior, I had never been a big believer in working from home. I mean, occasionally we would have people that ask, hey, can we work from home, or can I have certain people work from home? And usually the answer was honestly no.
Right.
And I was one of those.
Why was it no?
And I was always one of those people that felt like I can't really manage from a group of people if they're at the house. I really never felt really comfortable with the thought that things were getting done at the house, all those kind of things. I think it's the normal kind of course of business, right?
Yeah, would it be enough?
And so really we were almost forced to make this move. And when we did, we went to full work from home, 1,400 people. We put working at home within 2 weeks from the time we had started the process. We had to order like 600 laptops. There was a lot of, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Right.
But we put these 14 people at home, and what we found was our production actually got better.
Really?
And it was part because we put together a very rigorous schedule that we expected people to follow when they got to the house. So one thing was daily touch points with each one of your employees through Microsoft Teams, which is which you're able to see each other, a video chat. And we said every single day you got to talk to each one of your employees through a video chat for at least 10, 15 minutes, check in with them, talk to them, tell them what needs to be done, make sure that you guys are connected and communicating. And then at least twice a week, you need to have a group meeting again over, video chat so that you guys can make sure that the whole department's aligned and those type of things. And we saw our production shoot up. And what I believe now is that proximity led people to believe they were communicating, but they weren't actually communicating very well. So if I'm sitting in a cube next to you,
I don't have to talk to you.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
And so I think you know what's going on because I'm next to you. But the reality of it was there was a lack of communication. And so we were forcing this communication, which might have been, stilted at first, but it led people to being more connected and to understand more about what we were trying to do and how we were trying to do it than ever before. And so our employees now say they've never been more communicated to. They've never been more aligned. They've never understood what we were trying to do and how we were trying to do it than they do today. And partially because we were forced to over communicate, and that over communication actually bridged the gap from where we were in the office, which honestly I recognize today was we were pretty weak on communication.
Oh, wow. And I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about what you've learned from all this, but I do want to say, what I do appreciate that you guys did. You already had this task force. You already had your group. You already had your plan for your senior leaders. You already had your plan for your management team. So there's another dynamic that I'm interested to hear from you about is people have families in their homes now. Were you hesitant about that? Because, I've been on Teams calls and I'm like, hey, who's the little baby in the background?
Right.
And so you're getting a chance to actually see people's families now. And people are teaching a little bit during the day. So have you guys been pretty flexible with that as well with your employees?
We have. So we were kind of forced to there at the beginning, right? So you really just kind of had to do what you had to do in order to survive those first couple of weeks as we went into shutdown through the pandemic and into April. And then we started, originally we told everybody we're going to go home and by May 1st, we're going to go back into the office. And then a few weeks into it, we moved that
date
to
back
June
again.
1st, right? And we wanted to make sure that we were about 45 days out from giving people kind of a date on when we would go back to the office so they could prepare for it and prepare for childcare and those type of things. And so we kept pushing the date back. And then about mid-July, we made the decision based on our concern about the schools in the fall. We went on and made a decision that we're not sending anybody back into the office until at least January. And the reason we made that decision was really because we're watching the situation with the schools. We had some conversations with the superintendent and really understanding how they were going to manage the fall school semester, and felt like it would have been a burden to force people back, even absent potentially, the health related reasons. We felt like it would be too much of a burden to force people back into the office, and felt like let's go ahead and let people know now that we're going to stay home through the fall semester from a school perspective, and that would give people at least the ability to start planning for what that looks like.
As a president and CEO, I know, your employees are top of mind, which is a great thing. But did you ever think you would be in a position where you had to think about people's children going back to school and the health of every one of your employees and safety precautions and things like that?
Absolutely not, right? I mean, it's never really been, for our standpoint. I mean, school's one of those things that you really don't think about. And honestly, to be fair, you really don't even think about how people are managing their home life. I mean, you care about people's families and everything that they have to do at home, but you don't really think about how they're managing their home life. And in this situation, that has to go into it, right? So we have to think about what their home life situation is. I mean, we sent out a big company-wide survey, and we talked about people about, hey, what is your work condition? Are you sitting at a kitchen table, or do you have like a special room?
Great.
Do you have chairs that are comfortable? Trying to give people access to, whether it's chairs or any kind of other, concessions that we could make to try to make things a little bit easier. We didn't really want people that were, sitting in a sofa in a living room with 4 kids running around, but, you kind of have to do what you have to deal with. There were a handful of people that for whatever reason couldn't work from home, and we made our office available. But I mean, you're talking about a large office with only a handful of people now.
Right.
And so, we were able to keep distancing and that. But really, I think we have 40 or 50 people in a building or 2 buildings that used to have over 1,000 people.
Right.
We've got 40 or 50 people working.
You are just giving me, nuggets that we can't just, pass by. One of those things you talked about was a survey. And one thing that I absolutely love is when I work for organizations that want to hear from the people that they work with. And that was key with that survey. How long after the pandemic did you guys decide to do the survey when they were working remotely?
So we've done a couple. Our first, I remember we asked, and this was fairly early on, as we started thinking about going back into the office, and it's probably May. We sent out a survey and said, do you want to, yes or no? Do you want to go back into the office, or would you rather stay at home until at least, until there's a vaccine or there's some resolution of the pandemic? And it was 50-50.
Right.
50 people said, I want to stay home. 50% said, I want to go back to the office. And the people that said, yes, I want to go back to the office, we said, okay, but if you want to go back to the office, if that looks like wearing a mask, having to space out desks, you can't sit with your friends in the lunchroom, you have to, we can't use the company gym. Like if it means all of that, do you want to go back?
Right.
And of the people that said yes, 80% then said no. Said, in that environment, I don't want to go back. And so we took that to heart. And that's when we pushed it kind of back into the summer. And then the next survey was about the fall schools and how people would manage. And we asked, asked our people if they had school-age children, and if so, did they have a way to manage those children or manage their schoolwork if they were going to be in some sort of, school from home, whether it be a hybrid solution or they're full-time virtual. And, most of our people that responded were going to struggle. And so we tried to do everything we can to try to set it up. So, and we had a couple of employees that were in positions that are full-time 8 to 5 on the phone. They have to be on the phone. And they said, I can't do that and take care of my children. So we looked for alternative roles within the company so that we could swap them out.
Really?
So really try. I mean,
that is awesome.
Well, you just have to do what you got to do in this environment, right? I mean, this situation is so unique. And we've actually been busier through the pandemic. We were a company, we didn't do any layoffs, we didn't do any furloughs. In fact, our business has taken off since this has occurred. And so if anything, we have to be more productive. So we're trying to do everything we can to try to accommodate and do everything we can for our employees, and then also try to keep the business running.
Right. This is Expo Chattanooga. If you're just chiming in, I'm having a great conversation with Eric Fuller, President and CEO of US Express. And, you know, Eric, there's so many leaders in Chattanooga. And when I hear the passion that you have saying, I didn't furlough anyone, you know, because some companies had to do that, but you were willing to make a change with those positions and make sure that you met people's needs at the time. When I think about something that you mentioned previously was that you have one-on-one, you make sure that your team members have one-on-one calls weekly. And when you guys first started out, has that changed since, you know, how hectic it was or the consistent calls at the beginning? Have you guys backed off of those calls, or do you still do them just as much, as frequent?
So I think we're doing them a couple times a week. So when we started, I had a call with my team at 9 a.m. every single day and at 5 p.m. every single day. And that became too much. But it was good for the first couple of weeks because we didn't know what was going on, right? We were trying to manage through the chaos. But after a couple of weeks, we dropped off of the morning calls, and then now I have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday call with my team at 5 o'clock, and we've kept it to that. I would say if we go back into the office, we're going to keep that cadence because it's really helped with communication and connectivity and everybody kind of staying aligned. One of the other big things that we did, and I've always been open about doing town halls and trying to let people come in and ask questions and try to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it and those type of things. And so we used to have a quarterly town hall. We went to a weekly town hall for a time being, and now we're doing town halls about every 2 weeks. And we're doing those over Zoom. And the rule is I'll answer any question. So there's no questions off limits. Sometimes they get a little bizarre. Some people ask, I think, what was it? A few weeks ago, somebody said, what was it, LeBron or Michael Jordan? So people ask questions like that.
To get to know you.
Those are fun, right? Yeah. But it's good to get in there and let people just ask any question, and I'll sit in there and I'll talk for an hour, sometimes even 2 hours. But it really helps from a communication and connectivity with our employees. And like I said, these are part of the reason I think people are saying, hey, I've never been more communicated, I've never been more aligned, because if anything, we're over communicating, but I think in this environment, you really don't have a choice.
Yeah. How long have you been in your CEO position, and how long have you been at the company?
Sure. I've been in my role since 2017. Okay. And so
3 years.
3 years. Yeah, and we went public in 2018. So so that's been and it's an interesting dynamic to be public and be in this, dealing with this pandemic and those type of things, and because you're a little bit more in the spotlight, right? You have to be a little bit more intentional and a little bit more open about the things you're doing. So that's added a little bit of a dynamic that's probably a little more difficult. But been in that role since 2017, and prior to that, I was COO for a few years, and just for the most part, of worked through different roles and operations within the company.
All right, yeah. I think about all the different things that you've probably had to experience in a crash course of 5 months, probably 6 months. So 2 questions. What have you learned as leading the team, and what have you learned from your employees during this pandemic?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest takeaway is to develop a plan and be really intentional about it, and don't let kind of fear. I think a lot of times with this situation, I talk to a lot of people that are afraid to make decisions and afraid to make changes. And that was one thing we did not do. We didn't freeze at all. In fact, we went from 0 to 1,400 in 2 weeks. So it was really, once we kind of charted a course, it was go, 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 and we didn't look back. And I think, at least in this kind of environment, I think that's important.
Okay.
I think the other thing is the communication piece, right? And like I said, I learned earlier that we probably weren't communicating all that well in the office. So when we go back into the office, we're going to have forced communication points, and we're going to over communicate, and we're going to probably keep a lot of the things that we've done while we're home once we get back into the office. And also, I have learned that you can manage with work from home, right? So we are in the process of now trying to figure out what our work from home strategy is post-COVID. That may be, 12, 18 months down the road, who knows? But we're in the process of working that out. And we may be 40, 50, 60% of our workforce may stay at home.
How do your employees feel about that? Have you mentioned this to them at all? Or are they excited about it?
I think, like I said, it's a mix. I think, like that initial poll where it's 50-50 is probably 50-50, right? Half the people would like to stay at home and work from home, and half of them are going to get me out of here. I want to be in the office, right?
Right.
And but I think we're going to manage through that. So we're looking through from a department level, which departments we're going to have work from home and which departments we're probably going to have work in the office. And there may be even some hybrid solutions where people work a couple days in the office and a couple days at home. And so we're working through that now. But that's changed the complete dynamic of my mindset just 6 months ago, where I was like, absolutely no work from home, to maybe we have 700-800 people working from home permanently.
Oh, wow. You said that you guys are doing better with revenue compared to last year's numbers at the same time. What did you do anything differently there? Or do you think it's just the productivity of your team?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. One, the productivity is up, and so that has helped things. We were an essential business that obviously stayed open the entire time, and we're very heavy in the grocery retail. And so when the pandemic hit and the shutdown hit, we got busier, right? So we do a lot of business for like Walmart and Kroger and people like that. So our business really took off when we were in the shutdown, and our customers are booming like probably much larger than they have in a long, long time because of the sector that we participate in, and so that's helped as well.
Right. Yeah. So other business owners might say, you know what? The people that we work with, they're booming, but we're having a hard time.
Sure.
Give us some advice, Mr. Fuller. Give us some advice. What would you say to them?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're very fortunate, and I'm in a couple of groups where I talk to other CEOs and other business owners, and everybody has kind of a different situation that they had to deal with. We were very fortunate in the type of business we were in and the type of customers that we had. And we had done some of the groundwork from a technology standpoint that allowed us to do the work from home. Had we not digitized some of our operations and done some of the systems upgrades and things that we did just in the last 12, 18 months, we would not have been able to make this move. So we were fortunate and lucky in a lot of cases. And so I don't know that it's necessarily, in some cases it's luck, and I feel sorry, for people that are in, especially like manufacturing and other areas where they can't have the luxury of sending everybody from home, right? They have to have people out at the offices and in their facilities, and that's tough. But we've been fortunate that we had this luxury to be able to manage this way.
When you think about innovation in your industry, where do you see your industry in the next 3 years? Or 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, self-driving trucks. I know you guys have a gauge on that. Tell us more.
Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things happening in transportation, logistics, and trucking. So probably the last 3 years, there's been more money invested from Silicon Valley and venture capital in transportation logistics than in any other industry. And I believe the number is upwards of $6 or $7 billion just in the last 2 years. And so there's a lot of money going into it because it's a highly fragmented business with not a lot of market leaders, and there's a lot of opportunity. And it's our sector is $800 billion overall annual revenue. And so there's a lot of opportunity there, and so a lot of capital is getting thrown into this market. And there's a lot of things like autonomous trucks and electric trucks, and on the equipment side, a lot of new innovation type things. And as a company of our size, we're always trying to be on the forefront of that, trying to understand what's going on, what's getting applied to our industry, what are the opportunities. And so today, there's a couple of things that probably in the next 3 to 5 years we're going to see that's going to be somewhat widespread within our industry. There's electric trucks, there's hydrogen trucks. So there's hydrogen that's coming out probably within the next 2 to 3 years that will, I think there's infrastructure concerns, we'll see, but it's really interesting. We work with a company called Nikola who is kind of pioneering the hydrogen trucks. And then there's autonomous trucks. And we have announced a partnership with a company called Too Simple that is, in my mind, the leader with the autonomous trucks. And we believe we could have an autonomous truck out of the road within 3 years.
Oh,
now,
really?
It won't be, all of a sudden it won't be every truck out on the road is going to be operating themselves.
Yeah, right.
But there will be, within the next 3 to 5 years, there will be trucks operating completely autonomously without a driver, either in the truck or the driver is there from a safety perspective, but the truck is completely operating itself. And I've ridden in a truck in Arizona for about an hour and a half, fully autonomous. There was a driver there just in case, but he didn't have to take over at all. The truck drove itself on and off the interstate through downtown Tucson, Arizona, back on the interstate, completely autonomous. So the technology is there.
Right.
And you're going to see that get rolled out over the next couple of years in the industry.
How do we prepare the leaders of tomorrow for something like that?
Yeah,
how are you guys preparing the leaders?
Right. I mean, part of it's infrastructure, right? So whether it be these other types of fuel, the electric requires a completely new electric grid to support. If you go to hydrogen, then you got to build out the infrastructure for that. And then from an autonomous standpoint, the roads and bridges and everything really need to be adapted for that type of environment. And so whether it's a truck only lane or things like that I think over time you may see, those are the things that are going to happen in order to really get the full benefit of this type of technology. Right. And I'm not quite sure if at this point, you got government and private business, and I think sometimes they kind of speak past each other. And so I think you're not quite at the point where all of that is aligned, but I think once it becomes real and people understand that it's going to be here and you can't stop it, then I think you start to see that adoption.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So your time at US Express and everything that you've learned thus far, in your previous roles or in your previous experiences here, what prepared you for this pandemic? Is there anything specifically that prepared you for the pandemic?
I don't know if anything prepares you for this, right? But I think
they say big companies are ready. So is that true?
No, I don't know that we were ready. No, we had the capabilities. Like I said, I could take a task force of 6-8 people and tell them you're going to do nothing but this for the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a small company, I can't do that. So that is probably the point to where you could say big companies are ready because they had the resources to make that type of commitment,
right?
Where others wouldn't be able to. And I think that's probably where you can say that the big companies can do things that smaller companies can't for that reason. They have the capital, they have the people, and they can, allocate those resources.
Right. So you are in this amazing industry and you're doing well. So now it's time for me to ask, just get to know you questions.
Okay.
Is it LeBron or Michael?
Oh, Michael.
All the way.
I couldn't even believe somebody asked me that, right?
Right. Favorite thing to do on a weekday morning to get yourself ready for work?
If I get up in time, I would like to exercise, right? Whether it be go jog or I actually have a paddle board and I can go out on the river. I live right by the river, so I can go out on the river sometimes early in the morning and it's like glass. It's amazing. So I'll do that sometimes.
Nice. Yeah. Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
iPhone all the way. Favorite cereal?
I guess granola.
Okay.
Generic granola.
Okay. And favorite artist to listen to at the best time of your life?
I'm probably more of like a classic rock, so like the Rolling Stones.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for this time. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers today? And we appreciate everything that the Chamber is doing for this expo.
No, I mean, obviously we're big supporters of the Chamber and everything that the Chamber does for the community and for businesses is really important to us. I mean, one of the things that as we go through a lot of this transformation and a lot of the different types of technology, there's a lot of new needs from a personnel standpoint for a business like ourselves, whether it be developers or things like that Chattanooga doesn't have a plethora of. And so the chamber has really taken it on to try to develop and train a lot of employees that we really need in this community, not just at US Express, but I think community-wide. I mean, I think technology is going to advance so much in the next 5-10 years, not just in our industry, but in all industries.
Exactly.
And we've got to be a community that has that type of talent. And I think that by supporting the chamber, I think they can help to bring a lot of those people into the community.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you talking to me, and I had a good time getting to know you, Eric.
Good. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. That was such a great interview with Eric Fuller from US Express President and CEO. We had a great conversation. Coming up next, don't miss it. We're going to have a wonderful conversation with President and CEO from the Chattanooga Metropolitan Airport, Terry Hart, and also Barry White from Chattanooga Tourism Company.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of the family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
At PMI, we specialize in residential and commercial property management services for the greater Chattanooga area. PMI provides exceptional service with unparalleled communication and professional knowledge on a local level. We strive to maximize and protect your investments by finding qualified tenants and understanding the value of your individual property.
Follow the link to our website to learn more about Property Management Incorporated at Chattanooga.
We look forward to working with you.
At EMJ, we are a family of construction service companies. Our purpose is to be people serving people. And for more than 50 years, we've charged our nationwide team to be servant leaders who lead by example and inspire and serve others. We believe we do our best work by building strong relationships through our service to others and are guided by 3 enduring values. We are selfless. We trust and empower each other, build strong teams, and lead by example. We are trustworthy, we are accountable, and work to be good stewards for our clients. We are gritty. We are more interested in doing what is right than what is easy. We strive to deliver unique value to our clients, partners, and colleagues. Through collaboration and stewardship, we provide construction services customized to our clients, aiming to exceed their expectations. So who is EMJ Corporation? We're a family, focused on our clients and delivering exceptional experiences. Learn more at emjcorp.com.
Hello, Chattanooga EXPO. This is Brian Milliken with Tranco Logistics. We're an asset-based truckload carrier here in Chattanooga. We also handle international freight forwarding. We're a domestic brokerage and also about 2 million square feet of warehouse space here in Chattanooga. We also have a full drayage team. So if we can help with any of your supply chain needs, just please let us know. You can reach us at trancologistics.com and we would love to help. Thanks a lot.
If you're running your own business, you know that dealing with trucks isn't easy. One day you have too many trucks. One day you don't have enough of them. Even a truck needing repairs can cause lots of problems. How will you haul your products? That's where Ideal Lease of Chattanooga steps in. Our fleet of well-maintained rental trucks is the perfect solution for you. We have box, flatbed, and refrigerated trucks, as well as day cab and sleeper tractors, dry van trailers, and more, to fit your needs for a day, a week, a month, or even longer. With over 400 plus U.S. Ideal Lease affiliate locations, we are with you every mile. Next time you need a truck, think Ideal Lease of Chattanooga. www.idealleaseofchattanooga.com.
At PMI, we specialize in residential and commercial property management services for the greater Chattanooga area. PMI provides exceptional service with unparalleled communication and professional knowledge on a local level. We strive to maximize and protect your investments by finding qualified tenants and understanding the value of your individual property.
Follow the link to our website to learn more about Property Management Incorporated at Chattanooga.
We look forward to working with you.
Hi, Senior Vice President of Sales and Chattanooga Branch Manager Grayson Garrett here, and we are Trident Transport. Trident is a full-service logistics company headquartered here in the great scenic city. Inc. 5000 just recently named us as the fastest growing company in Chattanooga, and we positioned ourselves to be one of the best places to work in this community. We're excited to be here at the Expo Chattanooga. Come see us.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Welcome to EXPO Chattanooga with the Chamber. I am Donna L. Harrison, your host, and this is an exciting interview because this is my industry. I'm so excited. My official title is Director of Cultural Tourism for the Chattanooga Tourism Company. So I'm excited to talk to CEO and President Barry White. How are you, Barry?
Good morning. Doing great. Good to be with you, Donna.
So happy you're here. And then also I have Terry Hart. He is the president and CEO of the Chattanooga Metropolitan Airport. Hi, Terry. Good morning.
Good morning, Donna. Very nice to chat with you this morning.
I am so excited to talk to you guys because everybody from different industry sectors are having conversations about some of the things that they've experienced through this unprecedented time for our not only city, our country, our world. So I am excited to talk to you guys about the travel industry and exactly what that looks like right now. So just to kick off the questions, let's just get straight to it. What do you guys do within your industry? And tell us a little bit about what your company does. So I can start with Terry there.
Certainly. No, thank you, Donna. So obviously, as you mentioned, I'm the president and CEO of the Chattanooga Metropolitan Airport Authority, and we own and operate the airport in Chattanooga and for this region. Specifically, the different pieces of our business is the commercial aviation side, which most people equate to an airport like the airlines, American, Delta, United, and such, but also our corporate and general aviation services that we provide here at the airport. It's a big piece of our business here. So those are kind of the things you'll see that happens at the airport.
All right. Barry.
Yeah, so Chattanooga Tourism Company. So our main objective is to inspire people to visit Chattanooga and this region. We do that with groups, and groups means meetings, conventions, sporting events, those types of things, but also leisure travelers. And Terry, all of those, anyone who travels here, we have a lot of drive business in, but we also, they come here on flights, and we like to utilize the airport as much as possible. When they travel, when they come in, they're bringing their money from wherever they live, and they're spending it in our community. So it's an economic development initiative, and they'll spend it in restaurants, obviously lodging, entertainment, retail shopping. Those are the big places. So they're supporting our economy and making a better place for our residents and for our businesses.
Thank you. So you think about the week of March the 13th, words like quarantine, stay at home order. It hit the travel and tourism industry like never before. First of all, were you all prepared for this?
I mean, if you look at being prepared, there's certain things that we prepare for as such. If there's infectious disease and things that we're supposed to do procedurally wise, but I don't think you prepare for, you're on track to have another record year for employments at the airport. January and February's numbers were again above last year's numbers. And just as I said, mid-March, the wheels came off. And dramatically, the numbers just started decreasing immediately, the number of customers coming through the building, whereby in April, our lowest employment month that we've ever experienced, where we would typically board anywhere from 40 to 50,000 customers on commercial flights each month. We boarded 2,500 customers in the month of April. So I'm not sure you can plan that much for something like that, but it was very dramatic and very impactful that we saw.
Yeah.
Barry?
I wish I could say that we were prepared for this, but you can prepare for soft economies, you can prepare for downtime, you think about it, but to really think about a worldwide pandemic, it's one that was just very difficult to be prepared for. Like Terry, we were coming off a fantastic 2019. I mean, record levels of travel and tourism in the Chattanooga, and looking forward to another kind of record-breaking year of 2020. And that just changed immediately once that pandemic hit in our country. And what we're really looking at right now, we're looking at a health crisis, right? We're looking at an economic crisis, and we're also looking at almost a social unrest and pretty much kind of a crisis there with everything that's going on. So it's turned into more than just the pandemic, and that's definitely unprecedented times for us.
You think about next steps. So I had these conversations with different industries, and so as you were watching this pandemic happen in other cities, in other parts of the world, and you saw it getting closer and closer to Chattanooga, and what were the steps that you took as a leader within your organization, whether it was with your team or your staff? What did those steps look like, Barry?
Well, I mean, the first thing we saw, you could kind of see it coming, and you started coming into the U.S. But initially, when we knew that things were really going to be shutting down, it was definitely going to affect us in Tennessee and in Chattanooga specifically. We were right there at the beginning of spring break. I mean, March we're a family spring break destination, a big month for us, and so we immediately pulled all of our advertising out of the market. Got just stopped promoting. We saw we needed to start saving funds and reserving money. And then we just, tried to ensure our staff and our board, trying to figure out what our operating plan was going to be going forward. Trying to connect with clients. I mean, I can tell you exactly, we saw, I remember when the very first event, the very first convention, we said, we've had a cancellation. Somebody's canceled. And it was at that point, just that very first cancellation due to COVID, it's just like, that's going to start the landslide, which it did. And since then, we've lost more than 134 different sporting events, conventions, and meetings. And those are people who are spending money, they're using the airport, they're enjoying our community, and they're providing activities and things for us to do as residents. So it was, it was a challenge, but again, just trying to rally the troops and figure out what our operating plan was going to be going forward.
Donna, the same thing, just as Barry was describing, when this thing started rolling out and things were happening, we kind of looked at it and it's like, all right, what do we have to do to make sure that we can still make people feel safe coming through the building or the terminal here? Because the airport itself is really, what I like to say, the airport authority owns and operates the airport, but our big task is we're the landlord. We supply all the infrastructure for everyone to do business here at the airport. And that just obviously immediately started going downhill with that traffic drop. Airline schedules were being reduced. Everything was happening. And obviously, first, we want to make sure that everyone's safe and everyone's taken care of. Secondly, you look at described on the side that economically, our revenues just immediately dropped 90%. It was a big impact. So we obviously needed to get that cost under control to be able to weather the storm. And the most challenging thing is not knowing how long the storm is going to last and for the long term. And that's how I look at this. This is going to be a long journey. It's not one of these short things that's going to happen in just a few months or a number of months. It's going to be impactful for quite some time. And that's kind of where we're at, because immediately all in our sector, obviously commercial, the airlines have scaled back their schedules. So capacity is reduced because demand has been reduced. A lot of customers don't feel comfortable with flying right now, traveling. And that's the challenge. And as a result of that, the airlines have cut schedules back. And it's just going to take time for that to rebound and I don't even say get back to where it was, because I don't know if that will happen in the long term. Because with all this that's going on in the airline world, they have all scaled back. They're starting to park a lot of their different fleets of their aircraft. And when it comes back out, they're going to be much smaller, which means there's just less seats to compete for. So all these airports across the country is going to say, well, let us tell our good story why you need to be here. We're going to be one of those, but there's a lot less options to go choose from. So it's going to be a big challenge for many, many years to come. So
I was going to ask you, do you have any of your employees that got a chance to work remotely?
In our side with the airport authority, it's a little bit challenging because the type of work that we do does not allow us to work remotely. So since the beginning, our folks have been here and have done a great job at keeping the airport going, making sure that things are clean and disinfected and all the things that go on with that to make sure that customers feel safe when they come to the building.
Barry, what about you and your team? Has it changed? Have you seen I had a great conversation with another president and CEO, and he was talking about how, productivity was better when he talked to his team.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting experiment. It really pushed us into when we when the economy was just completely shut down, it pushed us into that remote workforce option. And as you know, we set a timeline. We thought we had set it, again, you look back and we thought we had set it, about for 8 weeks, I think, or so. Thought that was going to be plenty of time maybe that we could start coming back in. And as soon as you start coming back in or thinking about it, and you have a second wave come, and so we're still in a kind of a remote work environment. We have an option for people to come into the office and work. It's really about wherever you're most comfortable and most productive is kind of what we've taken the approach right now. And we're fortunate to have, we'll get into the technology talk here in a little bit, I'm sure. But again, you have the technology. We have the technology to do this, and we're still able to work with our clients, to work on our projects and work remotely, whether it's, in the office and working remotely with our team or working in other locations.
I wanted to ask you a little bit, and Terry had already touched on it. Do you believe that COVID-19 will affect your revenue long term?
Absolutely. We saw again in April, we were expecting roughly 10% of what we would normally would receive, and we're funded off of a portion of a hotel tax, a lodging tax. So paid by when visitors are staying in hotels, and we get a portion of that. So when the hotel business drops off, we drop off. That's been challenging to predict and forecast during these times. But yeah, right now, I mean, long term, the hospitality and the hotel industries, is looking at 2023, maybe 2024 before we would even start approaching those 2019 numbers that we had in such a great year. So we're looking at least 3 years coming out of this. And right now, we're fortunate. We're still we're in a good location geographically. Fortunately, the drive market for us is very important, and people are more comfortable, I think, getting in their cars and driving to a familiar place than jumping on an airplane. Still, right now, hopefully that will start changing a little bit. But I've talked to colleagues around the country, and they're still running 20-23% occupancy, and if by comparison, the hotel needs to be running at least 60%, and we were running. But we're running in the kind of the 40s, 50s percent, which is better than the national average, better than the state average, better than Nashville percentage wise, and again, so we're fortunate in that aspect. But we're still down. We're down 50%.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Terry, you talked a little bit about initially when this first happened that the numbers were extremely low. Have you guys had the opportunity to, like how Barry said, we're running at 50% now? What does it look like now for your industry?
So if you look at since April, from May, June, and July, our numbers have been an upward trend as such, albeit it's still a small number. I'll give you just an analogy from June until July, looking at the enplanements of commercial flights. We saw a 65% increase from June until July. But that total number in the month of July on enplanements were somewhere around 14,500 enplanements for the month. Still, that number was quite a big drop from July of last year, when we were 50,000 enplanements. So it's encouraging to see the upward trend. But goes along with the thing that this is for the long journey. This is not going to overnight. We're going to see 40 and 50,000 enplanements per month. Although we'd love to get back to that soon, I think it's going to be quite some time before that occurs.
Like, how often do you talk to your colleagues about some of the things that you're going through during this time? And Barry, I heard you mention that you speak to people from all over the country that are in the travel industry. What about you, Terry?
Yes, a lot of my colleagues, airport directors around the country, whether it's from a large airport to a small airport, everyone's in that same boat, experiencing the same things that we saw happen here in Chattanooga. There's not really one airport that stands out that's just doing wonderful, because that's not taking place. It's impacting everyone, and not just in the United States. I mean, across the world, you see this huge drop, and especially now, international travel,
right,
for Americans is very difficult, and it's just not happening, and it's very impactful to the economy around the world.
We think about, so many people are looking for advice, and they may not have peers to speak with about what's going on in the tourism industry and travel. What advice do you have to your colleagues? Like, what would you say to them if you haven't had a chance to talk to them one-on-one?
When we chat, we kind of compare notes, or also best practices of things that they're doing, but we're focused on, obviously, with our customers, our task is to make sure that people feel comfortable flying. That, and that's just not the airports, but when they're through the airports, how you're taking care of the facilities, making sure that things are clean, making sure that things are disinfected, the common sense things, wear a mask, social distance, all those things that we keep hearing each and every day. is the important things that we reemphasize to everyone. That's the kind of the important piece of that. And of course, our colleagues on the airline side are doing everything that they can to make that travel experience as safe as possible. Whether it's wearing masks while you're on board and traveling, the cleaning of the aircraft, the air filtration systems on the airplane, all those things come together to make that experience to make more comfortable for travelers. That's the big thing to make sure that happens.
Barry, what kind of advice would you give?
I mean, similar, to that. We have to make sure that when the attractions opened up here, that they've got good procedures to follow. There was some effort at a state level to be consistent in how attractions open and the safety precautions that they were taking. Same, with our hotels. Again, what we cannot afford as a community, or any community cannot afford, to be, nobody wants to be labeled as that hot spot, or, some huge outbreak in a hotel or an airport or whatever it is. And it's just a reputation that, it would be difficult to recover from, and really, cripple us again. So a lot about clean and safe, obviously. And then from, colleagues around the country, it's really, there's a big difference. Again, I mentioned that group business, those meetings, conventions, sporting events. Those are really not even happening right now. We've had a few, but for the most part, those large events are not happening, obviously. So in communities, I spoke to my colleague in Kansas City, my counterpart in Kansas City, last night briefly, and they're struggling. They rely more on air service, right? They don't have the geographic proximity that we do to major markets. Business travel is not happening. Business travel, there's the ones who they pay the high dollar for the plane tickets. They pay the high dollar for the, they go out and entertain in restaurants. They're staying in our hotels. That's still in the tank, if you will, just minimal. So it's really, who has anybody gotten creative? Is there anybody to do it? And for the most part, there's not. And we're fortunate to be in a drive market next to some major, close to some major cities. So
carrying on what Barry had said, a couple of points. One about hotspots, of being labeled a hotspot. And I agree with you. One of the things that I found, and Barry, just as you described, business travel has dried up comparatively to what it was. And we're 70% plus of our passengers are business travelers. And that's just not happening. We're seeing more leisure travel at this point. There's a lot of pent-up demand while all this was going on early on, and they wanted to travel. And first thing start seeing that return, everyone was headed to Florida. And then obviously saw in Florida, the numbers started spiking. And now you're starting to see that somewhat decline a little bit. So we obviously don't want to see that happen. And carrying on, let's talking about Kansas City, the same thing here is business travel. We need to be to a place where business travelers feel comfortable about traveling and getting back out on the road. Not that Zoom meetings aren't nice, but we want to have face-to-face meetings and have people go to where they need to do those meetings.
Amen.
One thing that I appreciate what you said, Terry, is that you wanted to make sure that travelers felt safe when they come to the Chattanooga airport. And Barry, one thing that I've seen you do within Chattanooga Tourism Company is to be a thought leader and to empower your partners, meaning the attractions and event coordinators and different things like that with messaging. Could you explain to our viewers today with the Expo a little bit about how your team has come together for messaging to make to empower the community and to empower travelers as they visit Chattanooga?
So we, when the bottom dropped out in March and April, we just immediately said, look, our partners are going to need us now more than ever. So our restaurants, our attractions, our arts and cultural partners, and everybody that's going to be affected by no travel, to our community. And so we set up, I started off with daily calls, I think, and focused on the lodging industry, the dining industry, and attractions, and just letting people learn from each other. It's just like Terry and I've been talking about. We have our colleagues around the country. Some of these are a lot of small businesses, but let's provide a communication outlet for them, a way to talk to each other and speak with each other and learn and have some interaction and what's going on. And that's, I think that has proved very effective. We're still doing weekly calls for all of our partners and trying to provide opportunities for them to learn from each other and just facilitating the communication for them. And I think it's been very helpful. Again, what are they doing? How are they reopening? What are they doing when they do have a positive COVID case? And Creative Discovery Museum, how do they respond? How do they react? And so other attractions can learn from that. So that's just kind of a role we stepped into, and I think it's been well received amongst our partners.
Terry, do you have a particular way that you guys have been communicating, and with who, and what that looks like?
Here locally at the airport, obviously all of us are in it together, whether it's the airlines, the rent-a-car companies, the TSA, our tenants on the airfield, Wilson Air Center, our fixed base operator, all of them together. So just as Barry described early on, we were fortunate enough we were able to meet in person, social distancing around and wearing masks, but at least to share the stories and the updates of things that were taking place. And what could we do as the airport authority, to help them? Because there was a lot of changes happening. Things like, just the examples, the rent-a-cars, the rent-a-car companies. Obviously, that business diminished quite a bit early on, and they had lots of cars here. So we had to find places to put lots of cars for a period of time until things started rebounding back. But those things are things that we tried to do to make sure that we could help all the folks on this airfield continue to operate and do the best that they could, and support them and let them know that we're all in it together and what can we do to assist them.
I love that. You guys have been CEOs or have experience being CEOs for a while. And I asked you earlier, did anything prepare you for this? But what have you learned from COVID-19 and the pandemic now that has happened in your role? What have you learned about your employees, about the industry, about your partners since this has happened?
I would say that from my perspective, and this is my 38th year in this aviation field, and I've seen a lot of things happen, a lot of events taking place, accidents. Obviously, a lot of people will point to 9/11, all those things. But this was so different, how immediately, this thing can impact so many people and so much on the operations and what it did. And I think that's the thing that I've taken away from that, is that it doesn't mean it's big or small or whatever, how impactful that it can be, and try your best to at least somewhat prepare, because I am very confident this is not just a one thing. There will be other things that will occur that will have an impact on transportation and travel. And we just got to do our part to make sure that we're as prepared as we can be to adjust, sometimes very quickly, to make things happen.
I mean, this is a worldwide stage, right? I mean, this is something in the world. It's not something that happened in the Middle East or in the U.S. or anything. It just really gives us perspective going forward on how the opportunities that we have to prepare better. And I agree. These types of things, I think, may continue to happen. COVID is with us for a while. Even if there is a vaccine announced tomorrow that works, by the time it is distributed and given, we're, 6-9 months minimum. So it's going to be here for a while, and that's something that I finally came, to grips with and to terms with. I think there's been so much change, and it's just really been managing change. And as soon as you try to get ahead of it just a little bit, something else changes. So it's really, I think, just from a CEO aspect, trying to be nimble, trying to anticipate but also responding and reacting to change. And again, I think right now the only thing I'm fairly certain of, and I feel confident, is this is going to be with us for many months.
Thank you, Barry. People are. Go ahead. I'm saying. Say it again.
People are traveling now. They're getting out a little bit, and like Terry said, a lot of pent up demand. Initially, people wanted to visit friends and family. Research says they're more comfortable going to places they're familiar with instead of going to a new destination. A lot of that, but yeah, it's coming back slowly.
Yeah, it is, and I want to say, somebody's ready. That's me to plan a trip and jump on a plane, Chattanooga Metropolitan Airport, of course, and travel outside of the city. What advice do you have for me?
I'm excited to see that our numbers are going up, which is great to see. But we want to see people feel comfortable. That's the most important thing. I know there's a lot of discussion that lots of people won't feel comfortable until there's a vaccine, and I understand that. I think it's sometime down the road for that to occur. But also, just when you travel, be safe. Follow those guidelines. They're simple and easy to do, and they're important that everyone does. We want to see things continue to grow here at the airport and get back to seeing more customers come through here. And those are the things I think if you practice those simple safety features, you'll have a better trip and a more enjoyable one.
Thank you for that advice. So I'm bringing family members to Chattanooga, Barry, and they're coming.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
what advice do you have for me?
You're right. People want to get out. People need to get out. We are a very social and mobile society, right? And they will come. So what I suggest again is it is all safety, but think of others first. We're really doing this now, not just for you personally to be safe. That's important, yes, but it's really about the safety of others, and because we don't know when we may be a carrier or anything else. So again, wear the mask, take the safety protocols, try not to give the virtual hugs, not the real hugs when the family comes in. And it's tough to do. It's easy to fall back into what we're accustomed to as humans and as people. But you just gotta get through this, and the more we pay attention to those little things and think about other people, and you don't want them to get sick, especially you don't want anybody to get sick, especially your loved ones, and you don't want to be the cause of it. So just take the extra precautions and try to enjoy visiting with your family.
We're in agreement that the tourism and travel industry has been hit hard, but are you hopeful? And what does that look like? With innovation, with hope, are you hopeful about where we could go while you're strategizing during this time?
Yes, I am hopeful. Again, as I just said, I mean, we're social beings. We've always been. We just have a lot more options now to travel and make it easier. And people are still going to desire to do that, whether it's for business, whether it's for pleasure. We want to get out. We need to get out as people, and in that just sense of exploring and seeing and experiencing different cultures. It's going to take a little while for it to come back. It's going to take a while for people to feel comfortable, and making sure that it is okay to get on that plane and travel safely and to visit your loved ones or just see another culture and experience a different place. But it will come back. I think it's innate in us as a people, and we will figure out ways to do that safely. If this thing were to last, a couple of years, God forbid, if it were to go longer, I think people will again become more accustomed to the safety protocols and things that we need to do. But we will need to keep moving and keep traveling.
What about you, Terry? Are you hopeful?
Oh yes, I'm always that way. We will be back. We will see customers coming back and flying and traveling. I just don't know exactly how long it will take to get to that point, but it's extremely important for us, and especially for people to do business. I understand about leisure and going, but also for business travel. That is so critical to this area that we're in. I mean, we've realized so much economic development and success in this region in the last number of years. And we realize that the airport plays a role in that economic development, getting people in and out of Chattanooga to do business, not just in the United States, but globally. We are in a global economy, and it needs to happen, and people need to be able to travel. And I'm confident we will get back to that point at some point.
All right. Is there anything else that you guys want to share before I ask you some quick questions before we get out of here? Anything else that I missed that you would like to share with our viewers?
I'm going to make one point, and given the opportunity to do that, United Airlines is returning their service to Chicago October 1st. In addition, they're going to launch nonstop service to their Houston hub at George Bush Intercontinental Airport. We're extremely excited about the new service and look forward to people looking at United.
We are so excited about that. Barry.
Yeah, absolutely. And those flights, they're great if you're flying out of Chattanooga. They're also great if you're flying into Chattanooga from those markets. So it's we're very excited about that too.
Yes.
All right. So we every now and then I've actually interviewed about 5 leaders, and I realize that people don't really know you guys. So I have to ask these quick questions for us to know a little bit more about you. Okay, are you ready?
This is not part of the script. I mean,
it's not part of the script. But
stick to the.
Okay, so let's go. Android or iPhone? Terry.
iPhone.
Barry.
iPhone.
Okay. Favorite cartoon? Barry.
Bugs Bunny.
Terry.
Old school, Underdog.
All right. Morning ritual to get you ready for your day. Terry.
Tall cup of black coffee.
Barry.
Yeah. Love to sit outside for some quiet time with a tall cup of black coffee.
Great answer. Favorite food? Terry.
From Chicago, so it's got to be deep dish pizza.
Ooh, that sounds great. Barry.
Anything breakfast, right?
Oh.
Anything breakfast. Because you have breakfast, you can have dessert. I mean, like a waffle, pancake. Those are desserts, but you don't call it dessert, so you don't feel guilty. Anything breakfast.
Anything breakfast. And last question. If you are at home or in the car jamming by yourself, what genre of music are you listening to? Terry.
Great rock and roll, Bob Seger all the time.
Yeah.
Barry.
I think I'm probably, classic rock, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the time.
Perfect. Well, this is EXPO Chattanooga, and I just want to say thank you to both of you guys. I've never interviewed you together, so Terry and Barry, it sounds so cool to hang out with you guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Donna.
Yeah, thank you, Terry. A pleasure. Good to see you.
Always good to see you, sir.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Bantam and Biddy serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you should come see us cause we're a scratch kitchen, certified allergy friendly, 100% gluten-free fried foods, breakfast all-day menu, beer, wine, and craft cocktails, full espresso bar, grab-and-go bakery counter, fresh squeezed juices and smoothies, weekend brunch menu, following all COVID-19 guidelines for safety, open in downtown Chattanooga for dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Bantam and Biddy, serving Southern like no other. Woo!
Since 2009, Chattanooga Football Club's purpose has been to build community through the world's game. Our mission is to use soccer as a tool to build strong relationships across age, race, creed, and socioeconomic status for the greater good of our city. We do this through our premier men's team, our youth training programs and camps, the Chattanooga FC Academy, Chattanooga Football League in Highland Park Commons, and the Chattanooga FC Foundation with programs like Chattanooga Sports Ministries and Operation Get Active. Learn more at ChattanoogaFC.com.
Hi, my name's Rebecca Love. I'm with Texas Roadhouse. We love bringing our legendary catering menu to the community. You can get a copy of it today in our virtual booth. We also have some fantastic fundraisers that we love to do with our local schools or organizations. My favorite ones are Peanut Fundraiser. And of course, we're always open with our hand-cut steaks, fresh baked bread, and legendary food, legendary service.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
Harrison, and welcome to our final talk for the day. For this one, we're going to hear from Reggie Piercy, Vice President of Sandler Training, on how to motivate your employees when you have to be physically distant. Here's Reggie.
It was a dark and stormy day when two battleships assigned to the same training squadron had been at sea on maneuvers in heavy weather. The lieutenant was serving on the lead battleship and was on watch at the bridge as night fell. However, the visibility worsened with patchy fog through the evening, so the captain was summoned to join the lieutenant at the bridge. Shortly after the captain arrived, the lookout on the wing of the bridge reported light bearing on the starboard bow. "Is it steady or moving eastern?" the captain called out. The lookout replied, "Steady, Captain." This meant the ship was on a dangerous collision course with the other ship. The captain then called to the signalman. "Signal to the other ship. We are on collision course. Advise you change direction, 20 degrees. Back came the signal. "Advisable for you to change direction, 20 degrees. The captain, a bit irritated by the response, told the signalman to send, "I am a captain. Change your course, 20 degrees. Back came the signal. "I'm a seaman, second class. I strongly advise you to change course, 20 degrees. By this time, the captain was furious. He spat out to the signalman to send, "I am a battleship. Change course, 20 degrees. With that, back came the signal, "I am a lighthouse." Safe to say, the captain and the battleship changed course 20 degrees. Have you ever experienced this in an organization, association, or maybe even your family unit? That is, the use of power, authority, status, or title is used to influence another to change course or change their ways. In most cases, even if the change is made, it is not sustained for the long term. The problem with this type of external motivating force is that the life of motivational change is in the seed. That is, each person on this earth is unique with different needs, different beliefs, different values, and different desires. Each person ultimately has the free will or individual willpower to make change or take action. They are immovable, like a lighthouse, until that choice is made with their free will. Each individual on earth is indeed so different that the odds of producing you again by your natural parents is 1 in 400 trillion. Yes, 1 in 400 trillion. That indeed makes you very special and unique. Because the life or power is in the seed, the motivation to change or take action is an inside-out proposition. So what does that mean for organizations, associations, and affiliations that we may belong to? How can they motivate their teams or individuals that sign up to be part of their mission? First, realizing that any form of motivation that is external, whether based on appreciation and recognition, or based on fear and threat, is always a short-term play. The influence from the outside to change is not sustainable for the long term without connecting to the internal drive and motivation of the individuals within the organization. The best strategy an organization can take is to create processes and systems that align with the desires of its team members, desires that are attached to the internal positive mindset of each individual. Identify your why, your what, your how, and who you want to be as a company. Then develop systems to deliver and execute your core deliverables to that mission. To sustain your mission, you need to ensure you are selecting the right talent that aligns with the company mission and core values, thereby creating the culture you desire. Ultimately, the role of the organization is to set a positive environment for their talent and help the individual to cultivate their desires, passions, self-fulfillment, and self-validations once they become a member of your team. Get to know each person's interests and desires. Instead of assuming and guessing, ask each team member for input on a regular basis. The team's desires are not static. They are ever-changing. A senior executive thought they would treat their leadership team to a nice upscale restaurant for lunch. The average plate was about $50 per person. She thought this would be a nice gift to say thank you for their hard work. She was astounded to see that nobody seemed to be impressed by the event. This left her disappointed and a bit upset that all the work that went into the event was not recognized. After some reflection, she decided to create a favorite things list to better understand her team's interests and desires. After completing the list, one morning she placed a thank you note card along with each executive's favorite candy bar on their desk prior to them arriving for work. She was amazed at how appreciative they were of such a simple gesture. By learning what was important to her team members, her simple yet powerful gesture made a positive impact for the day. The word motivation can be broken down into two parts: motive and action. The question to ask is, what motive does my team have to take action? In 1994, I was 31 years old, a college graduate with 10 years of hotel management experience. I had landed a job teaching management trainees how to run select service hotels with Marriott International in Atlanta, Georgia. I was also the father of a 5-year-old son. Needless to say, I was better at running a hotel than I was at being a father at that age. At the time, my son was not behaving or following instructions very well, and he had a defiant attitude with his mother that I was not happy about. On top of that, he would not sleep in his own bed at night and would routinely knock on our door between 1 and 2 a.m. in the morning, wanting to climb in the bed with mommy and daddy. No amount of yelling at the door or making threats would get him back in his own bed. In fact, it only made it worse, as he would start to whimper and cry. Using my power and authority to change his behavior or motivate him to sleep in his own bed was not working. As good fortune would have it, during this same time period, Marriott decided to send me to a week-long educational retreat to help roll out a new leadership program to our more senior managers and then eventually with our entry-level management team. Little did I know the training would have a deep impact on my mindset, beliefs, and behaviors in all parts of my life. It wasn't just about leadership in the hospitality industry. It was about leading your life in all things that are important in your life. I left the retreat with a long list of action items that I was intent on improving in myself, with all the roles that I played in my life. One of those being a better father. One of the action items I wrote down was making a commitment to spend 20 minutes with my son each evening before his bedtime, laying in his own bed and just talking. Sometimes reading stories, sometimes just listening to him speak. The memories I now have of doing this are immeasurable and priceless. So many laughs and so many stories from my son that enlightened my mind and tightened our bond. My motivations were twofold. One, spend some nice quality time with my son each day. After all, he was my pride and joy and family legacy. And two, improve his self-confidence and help him to feel safer sleeping in his own bed. Basically, to help him overcome the bad dreams that were waking him up in the middle of the night. It was amazing that just after 1 week of laying down with my son, that he started sleeping through the night in his own bed. I can only imagine that the emotional feeling of being loved by his father and the safety of falling asleep while his dad lay next to him put him at peace as he slept through the night. You see, I learned through that experience that titles and authority do not motivate others to change, at least nothing that is sustainable for the long term. The life was in the seed. The desire to change was within my son. All I did was cultivate his environment by helping him to feel safe, sharing my love and concern with him, and empowering a positive mindset that he held on to internally. As you might expect, his overall countenance changed too. He became more loving, less defiant with his mother, and Daddy's best buddy. With any new endeavor you take in life, you often get a pleasant surprise that is totally unexpected or planned for. One night as we sat at the dinner table, my son looked across the room at me and asked if he could go to work with me. At the moment, I thought, hey, that was the coolest thing. My son loved me so much that he wanted to go to work and spend the whole day with his father. You see, I had a large training room at my disposal, and I knew I could keep him occupied drawing on flip chart paper placed on the floor, as well as show him off to the others at the training facility. It would be a great day. As soon as my mind had drifted back to my son to answer his question, I said, yes, Aaron, that would be a lot of fun. My son's eyes immediately lit up at my answer, and he said, oh, Daddy, I can't wait to ride on the train. In my astonishment, I said, Aaron, what do you mean? Daddy doesn't ride a train at work. He answered, yes, you do, Daddy. I hear you talking to Mommy all the time about the training that you do. It is a priceless memory that I will hold on to forever. In closing, I would like to share 5 key strategies you can use to help cultivate an environment for your team members to thrive in. They come from Mike Crandall's book on motivational management, The Sandler Way. Remember that people are self-motivated by the following actions. Number 1, they want to do something. Number 2, they want to be something. Number 3, they want to have something. Number 4, they want to accomplish something. Number 5, they want to be known for something. Always remember that motivation is an inside-out proposition. It's an internal mindset for each unique individual formed in their own set of values and beliefs. The life is in the seed. Cultivate your work and/or home environment around these key strategies and watch the magic begin. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to continue the conversation, You can send me an email to reggie.piercy@sandler.com or go to my LinkedIn page and invite or message me. You can also stay on the live stream for some questions and answers. See you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us right here in the auditorium. But the great thing is, Reggie isn't finished. You have the opportunity to ask him questions and get real-time answers right now in the networking lounge. So go ahead over there and check him out. Hope you got a chance to make a lot of connections over the virtual exhibitors hall today. Stay with us and thanks for watching.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.
The UTC Mosaic program caters to the university's students with autism. With about 50 students in our program representing a wide array of degree fields, we need help from local professionals in 3 areas. First, we need work experience for our students. This can take the form of part-time work, internships, or volunteer work. Secondly, we need professional mentors who are willing to pair with our students in a one-on-one capacity. Finally, we need any local sponsors who would be willing to donate to the program. Thank you for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Sometimes life doesn't go according to plan. But even when your plans change, your dreams don't have to. Finishing your degree should fit your schedule, not fill it. When you're ready, we'll be here.
Suffering from allergies and asthma in Chattanooga can make it difficult to enjoy the amazing outdoor activities our city has to offer with all members of your family. The experienced double board certified allergist at Chattanooga Allergy Clinic can identify the allergy and asthma triggers that cause you trouble and create a personalized, state-of-the-art treatment plan. Early treatment can cure allergies, prevent asthma, and provide the relief you need to breathe easy and enjoy our beautiful city. Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, helping you live life to the fullest.
When it comes to offering hybrid cloud services, InfoSystems is the clear leader in this region. The only option for the cloud that a company can take that would give them access to local support, direct access to people in their community or in their region who can get to their workplace same day, is if you partner with a company in the region. If you look at our region in the Southeast, there are only a few companies that really offer top quality cloud services. So if your choices are limited, then you're more likely to make a decision based on cultural fit, companies that you can place your trust in, companies that have employees that you feel good about. And InfoSystems is that company. We also have on-premise 24/7 monitoring and management of our cloud environment. The first conversation with InfoSystems is typically with a senior level engineer, and that's something most companies won't offer. The goal of our free cloud assessment is really to provide documentation and guidance for a company to make the best decisions for their IT environment.